This is wild. I can't keep up. The transfer window is officially open. And do you know what? I really do get a buzz out of the transfer window. I get very excited to find out who's going where and basically find out who's leaving Chelsea. Today, it has exploded. Basically, everyone is leaving Chelsea. It has really kicked into gear. We've got Koulibaly going to Al Hilal. We've got Hakim Ziyech going to Al Nassr. We've got Edouard Mendy going to Al Ali. We've got Mason Mount sadly going to Manchester United. We've got Kai Havertz going to Arsenal, something that we really do need to discuss. And saddest of the lot, we have got N'Golo Kanté, the main man, the king, one of the greatest to have ever done it, leaving to go to Al Ittihad. I can't believe how the transfer window has sprung into life. And what this means for Chelsea, I do not know. Because on some level, I think we need to get rid of some of these players. I'm happy to see an awful lot of these players leaving. I think there are still half a dozen players that I think could leave Chelsea and half a dozen players that I would happily see the back of. But we also do have to explore exactly what these moves mean. So, Mateo Kovacic to City, for example. Of course, I think Mateo Kovacic is a very good player, but he is going to leave a gaping hole. It's all very well saying that Chelsea have a bloated squad. It's all very well saying that Chelsea need to make some moves on our inflated wage bill, and moving Mateo Kovacic on could be good for that. But he's a very good midfielder. He definitely is one of the best midfielders at our club. He leaves. N'Golo Kanté leaves. Mason Mount leaves. Enzo Fernandez is basically the only midfielder worth his salt at the club at the moment that is proven at the very top level. So this needs rectifying immediately. So I'm going to go through some of these transfers one by one, and I really do want your thoughts on it. Where should we start? I think the only place that we can start is Kai Havertz going to Arsenal. Now, this one is very interesting. People seem to be quite animated about this. Arsenal fans seem largely impressed. They seem largely on board with the signing, and they think that he could be the difference in terms of elevating them to nearly men, to actual contenders and actual champions. I disagree. I really don't get it with Kai Havertz. I'm prepared to be educated, but I've watched him play an awful lot of football and I just don't really see it. It's like the chip in my brain doesn't exist to comprehend and process what he's supposed to do. Like, I've seen him play a lot of football, I've downloaded the data, I've appreciated it, and I still think that he's a bang average footballer. I don't think that what he does is necessary on a football pitch. What I want from a footballer is a player that directly impacts the result of a game. I like a player that takes the game by the scruff of the neck. He partakes, he's there, he occasionally does something rather beautiful, but there's no level of consistency from him. And if you think that he's made 139 appearances for Chelsea, he has scored 32 goals. Not exactly prolific. Arsenal fans now, this is very interesting. I want your thoughts on this. Arsenal fans seem to be suggesting that he gives Mikel Arteta a different option, a different dimension. And of course he does, because he's somebody different. But the way that it's been put to me, and the case that is made for Kai Havertz is, when you look across Arsenal's front line, they're generally 5'10", right? On average, they're about 5'10". So Mikel Arteta doesn't really have an option to do something aside from what he usually wants to do. What he really wants to do, Arteta, is to attack as a front four, maybe even a front five, and have, half a dozen players in the team all going to score 12 goals. You don't need that one striker. Kai Havertz can do that. But there wasn't a plan B. There wasn't a different option. There wasn't a different way of playing. When things weren't working, when they were desperate for a goal, late in a game, at home, with the title slipping away, they still had to play the same way. And it's a very patient way of playing, and it's a very particular way of playing. And if you've got 11 men behind the ball, it's a very difficult way to break through. What you can't do with the players at the Arsenal the Arsenal manager's disposal at the moment is go long, change it up, because there's nobody there. Kai Havertz is 6 foot odd. He's big. He's a big frame. People will say that, he scored 30% of his Chelsea goals with his head. That's 10. He scored 10 headers. It's not impressive. He isn't a good striker, and I don't get it. I just don't see what he offers Arsenal. I don't think that he is better than anything. I don't think he's better at anything than any of the players currently at Arsenal. He's not a better dribbler than Martinelli. In fact, he's not a better dribbler than any of them. He's not better with his back to goal than Jesus if he was supposed to play there. He doesn't press as well as Jesus if he was supposed to play there. He's not trickier than Trossard. He hasn't got a better eye for goal than Trossard. I don't get it. I just don't get this transfer. And people will always talk about the Champions League, but he was so important to Chelsea, and Chelsea won the Champions League. And yeah, of course. His name will forever be etched into Chelsea folklore. There is no two ways about that. But so will Michy Batshuayi's. Michy Batshuayi won Chelsea the league. Michy Batshuayi scored the goal to win Chelsea the league at the Hawthorns. N'Golo Kanté, Kai Havertz scored the goal to win Chelsea the league, the Champions League in Portugal. But, it's not enough. And I'm very surprised to see this happening. And overall, I don't think it will work. That is my feeling towards it. Next, it's Mason Mount. Mason Mount to Manchester United. Manchester United have submitted an improved offer worth 50 million quid. I think the new bid is going to consist of 45 million quid up front with £5 million in add-ons. Bearing in mind, Mason Mount has, 1 year left. This seems like quite a lot of money. I really don't want this one to happen, though. I mean, it's going to happen, and I acquiesce to the fact that it is going to happen, but I desperately don't want it to happen. Mason Mount has no option but to leave Chelsea because he has been mistreated at the club. He has been desperately underpaid for over 3 years. Mason Mount doesn't earn 100 grand a week, which compared to most people is an awful lot of money. But compared to Kalidou Koulibaly, he's earning nothing like he should be earning. So Mason Mount, a man who's been integral to Chelsea, a man who was at the epicenter of Chelsea winning the European Cup, somebody that's been at the club since he was 8, he's on less than 100 grand a week. Meanwhile, he's there and he's watching Cucurella, fortune. Koulibaly, fortune. Sterling, 300 grand a week. Aubameyang, 300 grand a week. Of course he wants to leave. So, sadly, I do understand why it's going to happen. And the thing that is so annoying is he is desperately going to improve Manchester United. This is going to be such a good signing for Manchester United. This is going to work so well for Manchester United. Just think about how much better he is than Christian Eriksen. Also, he's about 7 years younger. So Manchester United are going to massively improve. He's better going forward than Christian Eriksen. He's better defensively than Christian Eriksen. He has a better eye for a goal than Christian Eriksen. And Manchester United will elevate because he is in their midfield. Him linking up with Bruno Fernandes is going to be very impressive. If he ends up playing that left sort of channel, left number 8, he will be immense. So I'm gutted he's going, and I'm gutted that Mateo Kovacic is going to go to Man City. I mean, Manchester City have been admirers of Kovacic for a long time now. Not enough to get the deal done, but I think around 2018 when he came to Chelsea, they were thinking of signing him. So he's finally got the move there, and I think Kovacic has an awful lot of qualities that Man City need. He's excellent at retaining possession. When he's under pressure, he's brilliant in possession. He has a great range of passing, and when you think about his forward range of passing, I think Erling Haaland could certainly benefit from linking up with Mateo Kovacic. The problem, I think, for City is he better than what they have? Does he improve their midfield? And I'm going to say no. I don't think, if they lose Gundogan and bring in Kovacic, which is looking like it's going to happen, Gundogan has been offered 3 years by Barcelona, City have only offered him 2 years, and it's looking like he's going to go there. Kovacic is a very good player, but he's not Ilkay Gundogan. So Man City's midfield slightly drops off there, I think. But in terms of signing a player of Kovacic's quality for the tiny sum, it's very good business for City. Now, the heartbreaker. That's right, Hakim Ziyech. No, I'm not really too fussed about Hakim Ziyech or Kalidou Koulibaly or Edouard Mendy leaving, but I am heartbroken about N'Golo Kanté. N'Golo Kanté is undoubtedly the best player that Chelsea are going to lose this season. None of the players that we've discussed so far in this video are anywhere near as talented. They're not going to be anywhere near as hard to replace as N'Golo Kanté. N'Golo Kanté is truly elite. He is a Chelsea great. It's very difficult for somebody as inarticulate as me to do him justice. So we only have to listen to the way that people within the game speak about him. Antonio Conte loved him, didn't he? Do you remember when Antonio Conte arrived? Loved him. Said that he is one of the best players that he has ever played with or managed. Thomas Tuchel said that he is he was talking about N'Golo Kante, and he said, he's our Van Dijk, he's our Alisson, he's our Salah, he's our Mbappe, he's our Neymar. He's basically everyone. And that is how I feel about him. I think he is a true great of the game. And N'Golo Kante has managed to do the impossible. And that is when I do my best ever Chelsea team. There were two players that just had to be in it. And Claude Makelele had to always be in it. But now I believe that N'Golo Kante has managed to eclipse him. So N'Golo Kante heading over to Saudi to link up with Karim Benzema, his international teammate. This is the hardest one to take. But it really is all going on, isn't it? The transfer window is well and truly alive. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you've enjoyed it. Please click subscribe. And gosh, if today carries on going as it's going, I'll be back doing another video in about 10 minutes. So I'll see you in a bit.